Hello everyone, Ayumilove here, back again with another Awaken Cures Error Guide. In today's video, I'll be covering two new teams for Queen of Tides Stage 14, or also known as the Hell Mode 2. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below this video if you have any queries that you would like me to answer. And before I begin, let me give you an overview of the team that I'll be covering today. The first team will be consisting of Hakrin, Zatlux, Edicris, and Santis, while the second team will be consisting of Celestial Kane, Zatlux, Edicris, and Santis. Basically swapping out Hakrin and Celestial Kane depending on the hero that you have in your account. So let's dive right into it. So I'll head over to Hell Stage 2. I'll skip the formation, click multi-battle. Basically I have Hakrin, Zatlux, Edicris, and Santis. So Hakrin is here to provide support through his increased max health in order to boost everyone's health so that they can absorb more damage, as well as Hakrin is able to provide additional defense stats through his trait. And if you get him to Ascension 2, he'll be able to provide 20% of his total stats as total defense stats to all of the heroes here. Zatlux is the main damage dealer to clear the first two waves, and he will be supported by Edicris, who will be able to help him to bring the enemy's health low enough so that he can one-shot the enemy with his ultimate ability, Fist of Carnage. And Edicris here also plays a second role, which is to remove the positive effect from the enemies. He has the similar skill kit as Kane. However, instead of protecting the allies, he'll be able to help Zatlux in the damage section, as well as the removing the positive effect to prevent the boss from reaching 3 positive effects, where she'll be able to use her Dragon Bomb that will remove the positive effect that is placed by Hakrin. And Edicris is also useful to remove the positive effects from the Tide Guard, where they will have some joint attack that allows them to perform multiple attacks on your heroes. And last but not least, we have Santis here. Santis is the main poison damage dealer to take down the boss. For the spells, we have Sundering Purgatory, which applies the defense down on all enemies so that it will make it easier for Zatlux to wipe out the enemy, as well as Gaia's Renewal to heal everyone, while it also plays a heal over time for 3 turns. So this one will be the supplementary healing to heal all the heroes, since there is no dedicated healer here. Alright, so that sums up the roles of each hero. And for the speed tuning, Edicris will go first to apply the defense down and also lower down the enemy's health so that Zatlux can perform the finishing kill. And the second one will be Santis. She'll be there to do her thing, her poison abilities, and Zatlux will go third to finish up the enemies, and Hakrin will be there to increase the max health as well as to taunt the enemy. So let's see them in action. So at the start of the battle, I have Edicris to go first to apply the defense down. In order for him to successfully apply this defense down, he will need to have at least 80% focus, and then some attack so that he can deal some damage to the enemies. Alright, so Hakrin has already placed the increased max health up. And for the second round, Edicris will not attack. He will take his turn at the last turn to finish up the remaining wave here. However, the poison kills the Tide Guard. So once you reach round 2 or the second wave, Edicris will perform his AoE attack to lower the health down so that Zatlux can finish up the 3 remaining mini crabs. And since the big Tide Guard has health lower than 50%, it makes it easy for Zatlux to finish the enemy. For the target priority, I have it set to target the right Tide Guard first, because he'll be able to heal the boss, since my team does not have any dedicated healer to apply the unhealable. So now Hakrin has increased the health of my heroes by 2 times. So now they have 30% health to sustain. Alright, so once Edicris takes his turn, he'll be able to remove the joint attack from the right thigh guard, as well as the positive effect from the boss. So the more positive effect he removes, the more bonus attack he will perform, which allows him to deal massive amount of damage to the enemy. Right now the boss has two positive effects. One is the shield and the resistance up buff, I think, but it's easily removed by Edicris' bonus attack. And his bonus attack deals like an AoE attack. Alright, so the right thigh guard is down. Now we will target the boss. And currently all of my heroes are equipped in Revival set except for Zatlux. Zatlux is built with all warrior set to provide him with massive amount of attack stats so that he can one-shot kill the mini traps and the big tight guards in the first two waves. Sometimes the boss will apply self buff on herself, the resistant up buff, which makes it quite difficult for Edicris to remove the positive effect. However, he has a special ability that applies the focus up by 50%, which allows him to remove that positive effect from the boss. Alright, now the boss has 50% health. So now it's currently smooth sailing. There's not much threat yet. There are cases where Edicris will be able to die if you do not have him with sufficient health and defense stats. So it's imperative to provide him with sufficient health and defense, as well as focus. Once you're able to provide him with sufficient survivability stats, then you can focus on the critical rate and attack to support Zatlux during the first two waves. Now the boss has 18% health left and 6% remaining. Edicris almost died due to the torrent attack. And there you have it. The boss is defeated, I think within 18 rounds. So let me click finish. So usually this battle would be completed under 5 minutes. And this run took around about 4 minutes and 42 seconds. So let me show you an alternative team replacing Hakrin with Celestial Kane. So now Celestial Kane here, I have replaced Hakrin with Celestial Kane. So the role of Celestial Kane is basically same as Hakrin, to protect the allies from damage. And Celestial Kane here is quite useful because he's able to apply the invincible buff on all allies to prevent them from receiving any damage from the enemy. Apart from that, he's able to heal himself to sustain so that he can continuously support his allies. And also finally, he's also able to cleanse away the water prison that is cast by the boss, which is quite useful so that your attacker hero has an additional turn to attack the enemy. For the spells, it will be remaining the same, which is the Sundering Purgatory for the defense down and Guy's Renewal for the healing. So let's click battle. Alright, so at the start of the battle, it will be same as the first team, where Edicris will apply the defense down followed by his AoE attack. And then Santis will do her AoE special attack to apply poison. Then Zatlux will finish off the first two mini crabs. And Celestial Kane will apply the AoE invincible buff to prevent any damage intake dealt by the enemies here. So Edicris will pause his turn to apply his self buff to finish off the tight guard here. Alright, so on the second wave, Edicris will have his AoE ultimate ability ready to decrease the enemy's health down, so that Zatlux can finish off the 3 enemies in front here. Alright, so the tight guard's health is below 50%, which will be easy for Zatlux to finish him off with his next turn with the Fist of Carnage. Alright, let's move on to the boss stage. So at the boss stage, it will be the same. The target priority will be on the right tight guard first, followed by the boss. And once Celestial Kane takes its turn, he will apply the AoE Invincible buff, which syncs with the timing of the Queen of Tides. But each time she performed her torrent, it will be blocked by Celestial Kane AoE block damage. And as you notice, the Water Prison spell will be removed when the hero takes damage because of the Celestial Kane trait, but you automatically remove any debuff from the heroes. Right, Edicris will come in to remove that buff. Edicris is very powerful here because he is able to gain multiple bonus attacks to remove all of the positive effects. It's like a better version of Kane, since he is able to perform multiple bonus attacks. However, Edicris is pretty squishy, hence you need to provide him or equip him in a revival set so that he can continuously heal himself. Right, I think Zatlux will be going down now, since he has only like 1% health left. So the remaining heroes will be Celestial Kane, Edicris, and Santis, who will be taking over the boss. Now the boss has 46% health. Alright, hopefully Edicris can recover here. Alright, hopefully you can finish the boss within this round. Alright, so there you have it. The boss is defeated within 18 rounds. So let's check the battle report. So this battle also took around the same timing, which is around about 4 minutes and 38 seconds. So let me quickly show you how I gear each of these heroes as well as the sets to achieve and how to further improve the heroes. Alright, the first hero on my team would be Edicris. He's here to support Zatlux to deal sufficient damage so that Zatlux is able to finish off the enemies with his Fist of Carnage. So the role of Edicris here is to remove the positive effect using his basic attack here. His basic attack called Focus Beam deals 100% damage to an enemy and removes one of the positive effects. And all of his skills is synergizes with his trait. which is known as the refracting prism. So as you can see here, any attacks have a 35% chance of launching a bonus attack, or 35% per positive effect remove. Chances do not stack. Bonus attacks will also deal 60% damage to all enemies and remove 1 positive effect from the target, up to 2 times per round. So basically he's able to perform 2 bonus attacks after his initial first attack. And if you ascend him, he's able to gain this ability ineffective at the start of the battle, which prevents damage intake from any abilities dealt by the enemy here. If you are able to ascend him, basically you'll be able to gain additional 15% attack from the start, as well as 5% more attack at the 6th ascension. The rest of the ascension here basically provides him with additional health, speed, as well as defense stats. I was quite fortunate to obtain multiple copies of Edicris in order to ascend him. And this is his special ability, known as the Blessing of Light, which grants him a bonus turn at the end of the round, as well as an attack up and focus up buff. So basically this focus up buff allows him to remove the positive effect from the boss, even though she has this resistance up positive effect. So as you can see here, the total stats for Edicris, I only have 86% focus. So with the help of the special ability, it adds another 50% more focus, which in total will provide him, which results in 136% focus, which is sufficient to remove the positive effect from the boss or any enemy. And the stats to prioritize on Edicris will be attack, health, speed, critical rate, critical damage, and focus. But the main thing is his survivability, because most of the damage will be coming from Zatlux. So it's imperative to have sufficient health for him to take the damage. So as you can see here, he has a C rating for health and defense, so it will be quite difficult to stack high amount of health and defense on him. And let's check out the gears. So basically I equip him in a revival set and a broken set here to achieve the required stats. So let's check out each equipment. So this is the weapon with health, critical rate, focus, and flat health. Health is important for him to survive. Critical rate allows him to perform critical damage, which makes the run much more consistent in the first 2 waves. Focus allows him to perform his ability to remove the positive effect. And this is the helmet with triple roll on focus, critical damage, and attack. This is the chest plate with some critical damage, critical rate, flat stats attack, and precision. Ideally, this would be an attack percent, and this one would be focus. Then for the boots, I have him in a speed boots so that he can go first to apply the defense down. And focus is important for him for the buff removal. Then there's the defense and critical damage. And this is a critical rate ring, which is not yet maxed out yet. This one has a defense, speed, health, and attack. And finally, we have the attack necklace that provides additional health, focus, defense, and critical rate. And his glyphs are not maxed out yet. The last one would be the blast glyph that provides an additional health and resistance. His abilities are all maxed out and is required so that he can perform his AE attack every 3 turns. Alright, so there you have it for Edicris. The next hero on my team is Zatlux. He's the main damage dealer in my team to clear the first 2 waves. And here are his total stats: 4684 attack, 157 speed, 78% critical rate, 300% critical damage, 0% focus. So the main important stats for Zatlux would be attack, critical rate, critical damage, and speed. I speed tune him to go 3rd in the team, just before Celestial Kane. Alright, so you need to build Zatlux quite heavy damage so that he's able to defeat the enemy to be able to reset all of these characters' ability cooldowns. And if he's able to do that, he'll be able to gain 1 attack up buff for 1 turn. So you need to have this by achieving his Ascension 2 Bloodthirst trait to make it easier to finish off the tight guards after killing off the mini crabs. Alright, so for the gears, it's basically a double warrior set to provide 30% attack and 1 raider set for additional 15 speed because his base speed is quite slow. So let me go through each piece of equipment. This is the weapon that provides additional speed, critical rate and critical damage. This is the helmet, critical damage, attack and health percentage and critical rate. This is the chest plate with some critical rate, critical damage, attack and health. This is an attack boots, some critical rate, critical damage, plus that's attack and health. This is a critical damage ring with double roll on attack and single roll on critical rate. And finally, we have an attack necklace with double roll on critical rate and critical damage. His glyphs are all maxed out as well as his abilities. The third hero on my team will be Santis. She is my main poison damage dealer in the team to take down the boss since the boss has massive amount of health and the fastest way to take her down would be using poison. So these are her total stats. Santis has 21,433 health, over 1,700 defense, 159 speed, she's speed tuned to go second in the team, and 118% focus. You will just need around about 110 to 120% focus to be able to tackle the resistance up positive effect if the boss applies that to herself. And she is recommended to have her 5th ascension to make the run much more consistent and quick. And let's check out the gears. She's equipped in a Terra set for additional 15% health and a revival set to heal herself every turn she takes. So this is the weapon with single upgrade on focus, double roll on the health percentage. This is the helmet with triple roll on focus, double roll on defense, and some agility. This is the chest plate with some focus, defense, and health. And this is a health boots with some focus, defense, agility, and flat stats health. And this is a defense ring with a double roll on health. And these 3 stats are not useful for her. So in future, I'll be replacing this with like additional focus, agility, and defense percentage. And finally, this is a revival necklace with the health as a primary stat. This one is quite good with some double roll on focus, but it does not really require resistance, so having agility and defense percentage will be ideal for her. Her glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. And this is Hakrin. He is there to protect his allies through his trait, Ancient Guardian, that provides a team-wide defense bonus equal to 20% of his character defense rating once you ascend him to Ascension 2. And he's there because of his Totemic Charge ultimate ability, which grants around about 45% max health once it reaches max 3 stacks. Also, he's there to apply the Totem Slam on the first wave of the tight guard to prevent it from using his AoE attack to nuke down Zatlux and other squishy heroes. And for the gears, I have him equipped in a revival set. So this is the weapon with some focus and defense stats. This is the helmet. This is the best I have, some attack and critical damage and critical rate. And attack is quite useful in order to redirect the attack to Hakrin in case all of the heroes in your team is basically the attacker heroes. If they are down, then Hakrin can take the water prison from the boss. And this is a chest plate with some focus and defense roll and some health. This is a defense boots with some health, agility, focus and speed. This is a health ring with some focus and defense. And finally, we have a defense necklace with some speed and focus. So as you notice, most of my heroes have speed above 140 so that they can go before the enemies in the first two waves. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. And finally, we have the Celestial Kane, the holy version of Kane, because this Kane is from the light element. His design is quite unique, which is like a reskin of the basic Kane. So Celestial Kane is here to apply his high ground ultimate ability that grants all team members with a one turn of invincible buff, which prevents them from taking any damage. And he has a similar kit like Hakrin, where he's able to taunt the enemy using his special ability Collision. Apart from that, his basic attack, Bear Claw, instead of removing positive effect, it heals himself, which makes him able to sustain himself, although his health and defense is pretty low. And the best part of Celestial Kane is he has a natural healing trait. When this character is attacked, you remove one negative effect from each of two team members. It can only be triggered once per turn. So let's say if your hero such as a Zatlux, which is targeted with a water prison, and when the enemy perform their AoE attacks and attack Celestial Kane will remove that negative effect. This also applies for like Archmagistra. When the boss applies the bomb on any of your heroes, Celestial Kane will be able to remove it using this natural healing trait. And I do not have him ascend. So if you are able to ascend him with duplicate copies of Celestial Kane, then you're able to gain this remove one negative effect from all team members when this character is attacked, rather than just two team members. But currently, without the ascension, the 5th ascension, he is still usable for this Queen of Tides strategy. So let me quickly go through his total stats. I have just recently promoted him to 6 star. It's recommended because at 5 star, he doesn't have sufficient health and defense to sustain himself. So at level 60, he has around about 17,000 health, 1,600 defense, 155 speed, and 115% focus. You need to have speed around about 153 and above to go before the boss. And all of the heroes will need to be speed tuned to go before the boss by having their speed above 152. And 115% focus will be sufficient to taunt the enemy in the first wave. Around 80% and above will be sufficient. Alright, so that is Celestial Kane stats. For the gears, I equipped him in a revival set. And let's check out each piece of the equipment. This is the weapon with some speed and focus. Critical rate is not so useful, but allows him to do some damage. This is the helmet with some focus and precision. This flat defense and resistance is not useful for him. Ideally, I would go for what's it called? Health percentage or defense percentage and agility. And for the chest plate, we have some focus, defense, and resistance. This is a speed boots to speed tune him to go last in the team. And this one has some focus and health percentage. And this is a health ring with some attack, speed, critical rate, and critical damage. And finally, we have a focus necklace with some health percentage and resistance. So his glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new from this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below this video if you need any help in setting up your Queen of Tides team. If you would like to support my work, you can visit patreon.com/Ayumilove to be a patron there to my channel. Also, do check out my website to learn more about Awaken Chaos Era if you are new to this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!